just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you hip in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with a rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave that 5-star review. I'm Spencer Exter. He is Speak Easy. We got Chris Platty in the TD booth and JB Smooth on the ones and twos. We got a lot to get to today. Some different news on the Lions in the media. Some people we want to be on the Lions in the media talking about different things. But first things first, my boy Carmelo officially retired from the NBA today after 19 years in the league, a scoring title, 10-time All-Star, a lot of different things, NCAA champion, 3-time Olympic gold medalist. It was a good career. I guess we all knew it was going to happen. I mean, it was only a matter of time. He wasn't probably going to play another year, but hats off to him for a great career. It sucks, but it is what it is.
LeBron's the last of the 03 class.
Yeah, LeBron's the last of the 03 class with Carmelo leaving.
Yep.
And the first one out was
Wade of those three.
No, the first one out was fucking Darko.
Yeah.
Fucking bum. So we'll have more on that later. Ryan Ermanni asked a good question that I'd like to touch on, but
what is it?
We'll talk about it later. If you read the prep, it's in there. But first things first, in basketball news, Celtics got fucking schwacked last night. Celtics got schwacked by the Heat, and it wasn't even close. They lost both games in TD Garden, and then they go back to Miami and they lose the first game like that. Obviously, the Lakers are fighting to stage off the sweep tonight. Is a Denver-Miami finals, is that bad for the NBA?
I feel like it would be if Jimmy Butler hadn't been on like the projection he's been on this entire postseason. He has been. That's the thing too. Is like I want to give Eric Spoelstra credit, but like Eric Spoelstra didn't coach that dog that's been Jimmy this entire postseason, and it's not like the first time we've seen it or heard about it either way too. Like in the situation in Minnesota, we grabbed the fucking janitor and fucking broom lady, and beat the starters for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then you also saw it during the bubble too. Like Jimmy is something special, man, and it sucks that like in my mind I think that like obviously Jokic and the Nuggets will probably win that series, but I really really feel like Jimmy deserves a ring before he goes out. Like I know you do with the Melo situation right now, but like Jimmy's on just something different right now, and I feel like that deserves a ring. This postseason deserves a ring or something.
He's been balling for sure, and it's like you talk about coaching not being that important in the NBA, and it's more about talent and talent acquisition. But Boston has the same team they had last year, if not a better team with some of the acquisitions they made.
Yeah.
And now they're about to get swept out of the conference finals. The biggest difference is they don't have Ime Udoka on their bench. Ryan said that today as well. He was like, he was wrong about coaching not mattering in the NBA because it's an obvious case of it mattering. Of I don't even know what's their coach, Joe Mazzulla, getting completely outcoached by Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. The shit that we're seeing from Jimmy though, like I just can't. I can't completely give a coach credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just some dog. Like
I mean, last night it wasn't all Jimmy.
Yeah.
Last night it was everybody else on the Heat going crazy. Gabe Vincent went crazy. Caleb Martin went crazy. You got undrafted free agents going out there and performing better than Celtics All-Stars.
Yeah. I mean, there is that aspect to it, I guess, when it comes to like the rest of the Heat playing the role alongside Jimmy. Some I envision with Detroit Pistons, Kate Cunningham, but we want Jaden Ivey. That's all I'm saying. I've been told the heliocentric guard/forward situation around shooters don't work, but we watch Jimmy, but he's probably not gonna get a ring out of it.
Definitely not.
It's also not heliocentric like a Luka or a Harden.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy is the lone star. Don't get it twisted.
They've been running a lot of their offense through Bam in the conference finals. He's been attacking Horford.
Absolutely.
Is Gabe Vincent a free agent this coming off season?
Yes.
He's undrafted, so he's not on too long of a deal.
Austin Reeves too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, where my mind went, and I know a lot of Pistons fans went. What's the deal with Jaylen Brown? What's the deal with that? I'm open to it.
I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Yeah, I'd love for the Pistons. They need to get Jaylen Brown, but I'm not giving up Cade, Ivey, or Duren to do it."
then you're not.
then
doing
you're
it.
not getting Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Because isn't he up for like a max contract deal
Yeah,
now?
super max,
Yeah,
super
see?
duper max.
$295 million?
Yeah.
Nah.
Lincoln R says Celtics in 7. All right, man. Keep holding on to hope, but both of these could be sweeps. I'm telling you. Well, I'm about to get a lot of money. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Because Nuggets are pulling this out. Hey, John Kloss, are the Nuggets still frauds? Get back to me.
Right.
Yeah, the frauds line is pretty aggressive. I mean, Jokic's been consistently Jokic for a minute now, so to
Also-
associate them with frauds, I doubted it. By the way, you know what I mean. I've been like wings when your rings, and the big man age died. But like Jokic is a different kind of big man.
He's
like,
different, and they have wings.
and they have wings.
They've got a lot of wings.
like Michael Porter. I'm not saying he's shitted on, but like obviously not consistent as you like him to be or think he should be. But when he's going, that's one of those guys that's like, fuck, what do we do? You know what I'm
and they
saying?
got Aaron Gordon, who's been playing well in this series.
Yep.
Obviously, Jamal Murray has been fucking lights out. Like, just ridiculously high-level basketball.
Jeff Green's a great rotation piece.
Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, KCP.
Bruce Brown,
they've
yeah.
got a lot. They've got a lot of players
Yeah.
they bring in. Even Christian Brown, like he gives them solid minutes.
Yeah, KCP's got the Lakers all-time record for 3-pointers in the playoffs. Like former champion alongside LeBron James too.
Yep.
Like that's a squad. It's just like it didn't feel real because I don't know why. Maybe it's my fault for being dismissive of what Jokic has been, but I just didn't feel like they were that team. I didn't feel like they had a big enough start, but Jokic is him.
Big enough star. Yeah, he's
I know.
been the biggest star in
I
the
know.
NBA the past 3 years.
As my B.
Yeah.
Again, I've been living off the wings when your rings, but again, it's a different type of big.
And they got wings too. Like, it's
yeah.
not, wings
Yep.
do win your rings, but they have depth.
Multiple.
They have multiple wings. They got bodies you could throw out. Great defenders, and they're playing great basketball. They lead the NBA through the playoffs in assist to turnover ratio. So it's just they're playing great basketball.
Chris,
Yeah, I mean, look, this is where my hot take was coming from. I kind of, put this in the oven, preheated it. I've been sitting on this for a minute now. I've been sitting on it all weekend.
Like a mama hen and her egg.
Oh yeah, and it's ready
don't
to
come in
hatch.
mama's pain.
Don't come in mama's pain. That's bad news. That's bad news for you. But listen, I'm telling you guys,
That's the next shirt.
I don't care what the numbers say. Jokic and Jamal Murray are the best pick and roll duo in NBA history. They are better than John Stockton. They are the best duo in NBA history. I don't care what the
That's
numbers say. And they're about to do something the Utah duo never did, and that's win a championship this
That's
year.
fair.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's normally Jokic being the roller, or
Yeah.
Jamal Murray being the screener in the pick and
Exactly.
roll. It's Jokic the 5 initiating the pick and roll with Jamal Murray the 2 guard being the
Yeah.
screener. It's unstoppable.
Or
You
the other
can't
way
stop
around.
it.
That's what's crazy about it. That's why it's the greatest pick and roll 2-man game. It's because both Jokic and Jamal can be Stockton and Malone.
Yeah.
Like they can both handle and pass and run the pick and roll. And Jamal Murray was killing Dennis Schroeder on those post ups, those post fadeaways. Like he was just bodying them in the fourth quarter. That's all they ran the final 6 minutes, and that's all it took to beat the Lakers. And the Lakers are the #1 defense in the NBA since the trade deadline.
As a Lakers
Say what you
fan-
want about the
or not
Lakers, but their
fan,
defense
but
is real.
Not
And the
in
fact that
playoffs.
the Nuggets carved them up with just their 2-man game, it shows
Who's
you.
their best perimeter defender? Would you say Vando?
Yeah, I'd say Vando, which he doesn't play usually down the stretch. I mean, honestly, at this point,
Is
I'd
he the
kind of
best
argue.
defender?
I'd kind of
Perimeter
argue
defender.
actually,
Oh.
if I really had to think about it, I'd argue Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has been pretty solid for them defensively, especially on the perimeter. He's been, just an overall player. Talk about getting a bag. He's gonna get a bag.
Yeah, from who? From the Pistons? Would you guys be down for a little Austin Reeves action? Is Jordan Poole in the market too? I just watched a video about a debate between Poole versus Reeves.
I don't want to pull.
I don't want Poole either.
Either.
Give me
So you
a
think
pick.
neither?
Give
I'm
me a
not
pick.
throwing a bag at Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, you think he's in a bag like that though?
Yeah, I think he'll get a nice sum.
Just based off of the amount of people like
The hype around him.
market.
He's been playing well. He's their best 3-point shooter by far.
he's got a little himmy in him, in my
He
opinion.
does.
He's got a little floppy in him.
Because no, he's got some himmy in him. Like, let's be respectful of Austin Reeves and what he's displayed. We said he had the fatty in him too, but that was just bullshit
Yeah.
when we were courtside. But like he's got some dog in him to be on the same. Listen, undrafted. I don't know what Kansas or not Kansas, Arkansas, Arkansas. And on the same team as LeBron James, take the shots that he's been taking. He has some balls, bro.
I mean, he has to.
But who's allowing the undrafted white kid from fucking Arkansas?
If he's making
to take
them,
these
everybody
shots?
should be
Well,
allowed
yeah, I
to
know,
do
but it just takes another set to even take the shot. You know, he's got a little Hemi in him.
It says a lot that LeBron trusts him,
Yes,
and
it
lets him
does.
run
He
run
has
pick
to
and
trust
rolls.
him.
I get that.
LeBron could have had
There's
Andrew
nobody else on his
Wiggins
team.
throughout his entirety in the Cavalier situation, but LeBron doesn't like young guys. He always wants vets. So like to have him in the moment doing those things, I mean, he's got some to him. He's got some swag.
Yeah.
He'll get like 80 to 90 M's. And honestly, if I was the Pistons, I like that kind of player for the Pistons. I just don't think the Pistons are at that point where you're an Austin Reeves away from being something meaningful.
Yes.
So, like, it would be one of those guys, 2-3 years down the line, things progress well. Yeah, we could talk about a guy like Austin Reeves. Love a guy like Austin Reeves. But right now, for this particular state the franchise is in, no.
What if I'm making the conversation Austin Reeves or Jordan Poole?
Oh, Austin Reeves by a million. I
Yeah,
don't
I'd
want
take
Jordan
Austin
Poole.
Reeves
Unless
over
with Jordan
Jordan
Poole,
Poole.
you're giving me picks. Like,
Okay.
that's a bad contract to me.
That is
I
a
don't care
bad
what
contract.
I don't care what nobody says. That's a bad contract. That extension hasn't even kicked in yet. $120 million for that guy who couldn't play the floor in the second round of the playoffs against a team that wasn't even the Lakers. As good as they are, they're also very flawed. Like, come on, man. I'm not touching that.
All right, so one more then. With that context, Austin Reeves or Jalen Brunson? Because Jalen Brunson proved to be
Why do
something
you want all
special for
these
New York.
guards?
Yeah.
Well, I really. Reeves is different. Like,
Well, no, I'm
I
not
know
saying
I'm taking
Reeves
on
is
a
a
guard. Yeah.
guard.
I mean, he's a true two in my mind.
Yeah.
And again, he's got that. He got that dog in him. In my opinion, he got it.
I haven't seen enough big moments of him to say he's got that dog in him.
I think I have.
Oh, I'm all in on
yeah.
Reeves. It's just a timeline thing for me.
I think
And
he's
Brunson,
a good player, but I'm not gonna say he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
He's got that dog in him.
He's got a puppy.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, he's only 2 years in,
Yeah.
but again, and to be present in those moments with those players on the floor and to perform in them, like he's had moments. He's had dog moments.
Yeah.
Big moments.
I mean, he has to. Nobody else on his team's doing anything.
That's all right. But again, in those situations, like typically it's not an Austin Reeves
Yeah.
having the ball and having to. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the bit more trustworthy, some of the have D'Angelo Russell
Yeah,
on the
it
team.
should be D'Lo.
Yeah, it
I was
should be
gonna say,
D'Lo.
but that
He's
dude shot
trash.
1 of 8. Yeah.
Shooting like 14%
Terrible.
from the field in the series. Buns.
Should the Detroit? So you don't want
D'Lo had
to,
that dog in him at one point too.
Yeah, he did. Well, different scenarios though. Again, like these are bigger moments for Reeves. These are playoff scenarios.
Yeah.
D'Lo never, but
I mean,
Well,
his
the
team's down
playoffs in
0-3.
Brooklyn, D'Lo was pretty nice at that point. I
Yeah.
was always out on him. I never believed in it, but that was the point when people were trying to say he had the ice in his veins, the dog in him, all that other stuff.
I think we're giving him too much credit for that. The ice in the veins moment, which is a regular season moment. Then he got tatted. It's a cold ass tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're giving him too much hype off of like memeable moments, versus like what it actually was.
Tangible,
But
yeah.
I mean, you're right. Only 2 years of Austin Reeves,
Yeah.
But this team, this Lakers team, as much as I love LeBron, and AD is obviously really good too.
Sometimes.
Did you expect him to be in the Western Conference Finals this year?
No.
But it's not even like you said. They've had to.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that's been bumping. JB, what's your opinion on the matter?
On Austin Reeves,
Yeah.
I mean,
Why you say it like that? Come on, man.
I only
he's
say it
white.
like that
'Cause he's
because because I heard his nickname, which I think
What
is
is it?
What's his
terrible.
nickname?
The White Mamba.
There's only one white mamba.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
If purely off of like what the White Mamba should mean, I mean Reeves is more deserving of it over Scalabrine.
Not a chance.
Not a
Scalabrine
chance.
would give
Scalabrine's
Reeves-
got it off of the meme situation. Like
Scalabrine would give Reeves buckets.
Still.
Still.
I mean, he can. They're both in the offseason now. Or, well, about to be.
About to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. I mean, I would much rather have Austin Reeves than Jordan Poole because the Jordan Poole just showed you this past playoff series that he is not the guy out there. He's not the guy that you need out there when you need someone off the bench to get you some help and some extra buckets.
He's got fractured confidence.
Yeah.
Go with that fractured jaw.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real quick, for the show carries on, and we have to go to break, and we won't be able to bring this back up till the end of the show. Fuck it. We'll bring it up at the end of the show. I want to shout out our boy Joaquin
Oh, yeah.
for the victory this past weekend.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had,
Shout
speaking,
out Buck.
speaking of memeable moments, he had like 3 of them in that post play
For
interview.
sure. The Chris Bosh prime celebration.
Yeah. And then he had the, fuck it,
victory
play the
screech.
scream.
Yeah.
Play the victory screech.
Victory
I got you.
screech.
Victory screech by Joaquin. After that, I had a Booker T moment. Did you see that, JB?
Oh, I didn't even see
Oh,
that.
my God,
what is
dude.
this scream?
I'll send you the video. We ain't gonna go there.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back. We got some surprising Detroit Lions news. Some ballsy Detroit Lions news.
All right.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Jumpin' Puck.
He shoots. He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Jumpin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Jumpin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. So we just talked a little bit about basketball, about our guy Joaquin Buckley getting that dub in UFC. Now let's go into what the people want. The only reason the people listen to anything is the Lions news. Because Colin Cowherd had a guest on today, Vic Taffer. He is a senior writer for The Athletic. He covers the Las Vegas Raiders, and he had some words to say about the Detroit Lions. Chris, can you run that video?
Yes.
I just think that it has to be a little bit of a regression this year. I mean, I don't know if Jared Goff can have that kind of year again. I didn't love their draft. I thought taking a running back that high was kind of a bad move. They also got a linebacker, a run-stopping linebacker. I didn't like their draft. I thought they kind of maybe got a little too cocky a little bit about where they were. So I think it's a tough schedule. I think a small regression is not going to be too surprising.
This is Vic Taffer, the beat writer for the Las Vegas Raiders for The Athletic, on one of his best bets of the NFL season being the Lions under 9.5 win total. So, first of all, respectfully, fuck you, dude. Second of all, you notice he talks about that shit. I didn't like their draft. I think they got a little cocky. He didn't mention the entire revamp of the secondary. Getting players like Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He didn't talk about improving the run game. He said he didn't like taking a running back that high, but he didn't talk about David Montgomery being a huge upgrade to Jamal Williams as a player, as a running back, as a weapon in this offense. He didn't talk about the Lions and their players year one making a jump to year two, like, I don't know, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez, different players like that. This guy is just focusing on the things he doesn't like. I think they got a little too cocky. It's probably because he put out a bunch of different mock drafts and stuff like that, and the Lions didn't follow his plan, so he's getting salty about it. He talked about the reasons the Lions will slightly regress from last year, rather than the reasons that we all know as Detroit Lions fans, as people who tune into everything the Lions do, that improve them as a team next year, and reasons why they will have more victories than they did last season, like another year of Ben Johnson, Jared Goff coming off of a great season and having his confidence at an all-time high, the improvements of the defense in the secondary, the way the defense played down the stretch last year before adding these new players into the defense and making that secondary one of the top 5 units in the NFL. So I'm getting real sick of hearing this shit. It's like he's just trying to stand out. He's just trying to push a narrative that, oh, I'm different. I can say this. They're going to be bad because I didn't like their draft. Like, shut up, dude. Focus on the real things that actually matter, players we actually know about, rather than saying you don't like the draft of players that you haven't seen in the NFL yet, players you haven't seen on the field, so you don't know what they'll become, rather than seasoned NFL veterans like David Montgomery, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Cameron Sutton you add to this team that you know will have positive impacts, that you know we're coming in a position of pretty poor play like the Lions secondary and trying to turn that around. So instead of focusing on guys you haven't seen take a snap in the NFL, Focus on the guys you have years of data and stats on and what they can do to help this Lions team win more games rather than why you think these rookies will cause them to lose games.
That was beautifully put, and you make an excellent point. The problem is, Vic Taffer, not just a Raiders beat reporter, he does his predictions every week. Vegas Raiders, I'm assuming doing gambling a while for big part of his career. 234 and 171 is predictions. That's a 57% winning percentage. I mean, it's pretty nice. Like that's tough. That's tough to do. I mean, JB, you're a degenerate. Let's be real. Like, how often are guys breaking that 50% barrier?
Yeah. I guess you're right on that. Damn. I don't even want to think about it, but yeah, you're right on that.
And to be honest, like the way it's broken down, and I think we felt the way on this very show about a particular human being is that like we don't know if we expect that same type of season. Now there are other variables, like you said, that he didn't mention and didn't make note of as a secondary. And I think number one for me in my book to answer this to one of his concerns in Jared Goff is Ben Johnson. That is the one piece of this Detroit Lions team, however you want to look at it, that is the winning key to me. That's the winning component to me. That's why I stressed the worry of losing him well before he's even taken interviews, because like I feel like he's that crucial to this offense. Now, fortunately enough for the Detroit Lions in the 2023 season, they have Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. That is they're going to war with him every single week, and I think that's a piece that he's missing on. And along with what you said too, the defensive secondary. Like last year, they were a top 5 offense, but it felt like they almost needed to be with how bad the defense was in the beginning half of the season. Now, as the season went along, the defense started to pick up a little bit too, and now you've, like you said, enhanced that as well. So I don't know that that you can expect Jared Goff to have the similar years last year. I don't think we should definitely expect him to have only 7 interceptions. This guy's had the most since being drafted. But what saves you there, and I think we hinted this a little bit last week too, is the fact that the defense is bolstered with veteran pieces now, with pieces that have been literally at the top of the top. I mean, GJ coming off a Super Bowl game. Not a victory, unfortunately, for him, but a game. And then you also have Brad Holmes putting another guy in slot behind him to fulfill that role within the defense when he drafted Brian Branch, who had a first-round grade in him. Say what you want about Jack Campbell. The Buccaneers were going to take him beforehand, if the Lions did it. Mm-hmm. There's a first-round grade for sure on him, too. And we've heard the same about Jahmyr Gibbs. So, like, him having beef with the draft, to be honest with you, I don't even care. Like, because I've already said this already, too. Jack Campbell's an upgrade over Alex Anzalone, a damn good year. And then also Jahmyr Gibbs, say how you feel about him. He's going to be effective. If Jamal Williams could be effective in this offense.
Yes.
A career backup back, has a 1,000-yard season and breaks Barry fucking Sanders' record. 17-game season, but still, you break Barry Sanders' fucking record, and you lead the league too. Mm-hmm. And then Ben Johnson's gonna figure out how to use a first-round talent, Jahmyr Gibbs. I can promise you that. Yeah. All due respect to Vic and his record and everything he's got going on for him, I think that's the one key component he's forgetting about is Ben Johnson. He's a dog.
Yeah, he's
got that Austin Reeves in him.
Like Vic Taffer might write great articles about the Las Vegas Raiders. He might have a good record on his bets, because he lives in Las Vegas, presumably, and he does that a lot. But I can tell you one thing that he's not better at. He's not better at identifying talent and scouting players than Brad Holmes. Because if he was, he'd be an NFL GM. But you're not, buddy. So I guarantee you that Brad Holmes is better at identifying college talent than you are. That's why he gets paid to do that. That's why his past 2 drafts for the Detroit Lions have been so phenomenal and raved as some of the best draft classes in franchise history. So you say, I don't like this draft. I think he got a little cocky. I can say, yeah, well, I believe in Brad Holmes' resume, and I believe he is one of the best identifiers of talent in the NFL. So for you to question that is kind of blasphemous to me. Saying you don't like it, that means they're going to be worse, when this guy just pumped out 2 of the best draft classes in Detroit Lions history and is looking to do it with a 3rd, is pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that point. I can't. I'm not going against Brad Holmes ever. But the other guy that I don't want to mention before we set off your feelings in the comment section is number 16, and I can't disagree with the concerns there. I have the same concerns.
I have faith he's going to have another season equatable to what he did last year. Maybe not, like you said, not throw. I'm not going to say he's only going to throw 7 interceptions, but if he throws 12, that's a great season based on what he did last year.
But that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of that comeback is the consecutive passes thrown without the turnovers. And it's not like they're all clean passes, like, without turnovers. Like, per PFF, this ain't even me coming out as a hater, however you want to look at it, unless you classify them as haters too. They're fucking numbers nerds. Had the most dropped interception rate in the NFL, led the league.
Yeah.
Think back to the Chicago games. Think back to the Bills game. Like, don't forget those plays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but per even what you just said, the defense is going to be astronomically better than it was last year, even in the last 10 games when they were playing at a great pace. So you don't need to make sure your quarterback doesn't turn the ball over. Like, you can live if he turns the ball over 3 more times than he did last year with the improvements you made to your defense and the more weapons you added.
Yeah, and that's why I think, regardless of like if this offense is what we saw last year or not, this team has, beyond even like that situation, I'm talking about the rest of the division included, has an opportunity to win this division and for sure go to the playoffs. Yeah. And you have another question for us I'm trying to get to is, like, I know we're skipping over one, but how crucial is the start of the season? Yeah. And I think it's pretty fucking crucial.
So do I.
I really do. You care we go to break and go to that one?
No, yeah, we can do that.
You want to do that?
Let me tell you guys about Big Boy, because Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. Try classic breakfast items like the strawberry hotcakes or mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. And don't forget to grab dessert, including their berry delicious classic strawberry pie, deep fried vanilla Oreos, or strawberry hot fudge cake, and more at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. For the man to my left, the one and only Speak Easy, Chris Platty in the TD booth, JB Smooth on the ones and twos. I am Spencer Raxter. We are the Woodward Heavyweights. We just got done talking about Vic Taffer and his take that the Lions under 9.5 wins is one of his best bets on the NFL season, which, again, respectfully, fuck off. Now, I had a question that I put in the Woodward Sports.
It's an awful bet.
Or in our prep about the Detroit Lions, which is how important it is for this team to get off to a hot start. Because we know last year, whatever happened, blame it on whoever you want. The reason the Lions did not make the playoffs is because they started 1-6. To make the playoffs, you have to win games. And they started off the first 7 games by winning 1 of them. So this season, we already know they have a gauntlet of some sorts to start the season. They go game 1 Thursday night in Arrowhead versus the Chiefs. Then they got the Seahawks at home. And then they got the Falcons at home. Then they go to the Packers. There are some tough matchups there in the first to 7 games. We'll take that same sample size from when they started 1-6 last year. How imperative is it for the Lions to be, at the very least, 500 or a game over 500 through 7 games?
It's very important. I mean, you were witness to the situation last year. They didn't make the playoffs. Like, newsflash. As great as they finished the season,
playoffs,
that 1-6 start, and as many as like the Minnesota game was kind of close. You can see the Seattle game was actually kind of close. Take away that pick 6, that's a W.
Philadelphia game was close.
Philadelphia game was close. Like, that matters. Even for the teams that didn't start that way, Seattle, and I mean, you look at Pittsburgh. I mean, there's also so many teams that made the playoffs. This is Green Bay. Green Bay didn't make the playoffs. Seattle didn't start like that, and they made the playoffs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Seattle started like 4-0, 5-0.
Yeah.
I remember it was like one of the surprise starts. Like, what the fuck's going on there? You know,
They were hot.
We're up into the face of the Lions, but it's crucial. There's no debate about it. I don't care what anybody has to say. You can see the team rallied around each other last year and they ended up winning games. They didn't make the playoffs in doing so, and you know the stat. Starting 0-2 don't work well for you. Mm-hmm. The Bengals did it this year. They were one of the anomalies, but outside of my beliefs, Joe Burrow is him.
Yes.
And I think Joe Burrow's still very, very talented, but that's also
he's Tua Tagovailoa?
a special. He's better than Tua Tagovailoa. Shout out Neil Rule, but he's definitely they're a special team. You know, between just the pairing of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase alone, to climb themselves out of that 0-2 start. I mean, they had it, and they're a damn good coach. The coach is actually really good ass coach too.
Yeah.
But they have to start fast. We can't have none of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. First of all, for our jobs, start fast. It'd be so much better if we were talking about the Lions 2-1 through 3 games than it would be 1-2 or 0-3. Mm-hmm. And you're right. This is a team that they captured that momentum at the end of the season in those last 10 games, and they looked like they could beat anybody. They're going out there and they were playing great football, playing their best football of the year. Almost beating Buffalo. Going in there, aside from the Carolina game, those last 8 games of the year, they were playing as good, if not better, football than anybody in the NFL. So you can't afford to start off slow like that again. With the expectations you have on this team, with expecting them to finally win the NFC North for the first time in franchise history, to make a playoff run, to get a playoff victory for the first time in 30 years, you need them to get off the bat hot. Because if not, you'll be playing catch up the entire year. And this schedule is not as favorable as it was last year because you're looking at games that you hope to have wins in that are not guaranteed wins or they're going to win that game. When you look at Tampa Bay, at Baltimore, at New Orleans, at Los Angeles Chargers, home against the Broncos, at the Cowboys, these aren't gimmies. You don't have gimmies in the second half of your schedule. So you need to take advantage and beat the teams you're supposed to beat at the beginning of the year. And even call out one that maybe you're not favored to win in, whether that is the Chiefs or the Seattle Seahawks. You need to go out there. You need to assert your dominance in the standings in the NFL, live up to the expectations that the fans of the teams have, and start out hot. You can't afford another slow start if you want to win this division, if you want to make the playoffs, if you want to be this team that everybody in the national and local media is hyping you up to be, rightfully so, because of the way you finished the season last year and the additions you made to this team. You got to go out there and you got to get some wins in the beginning of the season. You can't start 1-6 again.
Absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is how the league goes in general, especially now too. And maybe you could make this counter argument too. But if the 17-game season, it feels like almost anybody has a chance, and that could either one give you that extra chance or punch you out of it when somebody else beats another team that you just happen to lose to. I think they make the playoffs for sure. Mm-hmm. But if they lose, they start the season 0-2. I have concerns. Yeah, absolutely. And newsflash, you can talk all the shit you want about Seattle. The Lions are the youngest team.
Yeah.
Seattle is number 2. All right, and you guys are real familiar with the names. Tariq Woolen. I'm not familiar with the names, obviously, but
Kobe Bryant, Kenneth Walker.
But the left tackle, they had to
both of their tackles.
Both the tackles, rookie tackles, perform. And the biggest leap is from your rookie year to your sophomore year. Mm-hmm. We've been bragging about it for the Detroit Lions rookies all off season long. That same logic applies to the young Seattle Seahawks team too, which, by the way, had another fucking killer draft. You start the season off, the fires are fucking to you. Mm-hmm. And again, I expect Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions entire coaching staff and roster to perform at that level. I mean, I think they proved it to you last year that they can. So no excuses. They have to start this thing off with a bang.
Yeah, for sure. JB, how important is it to you for the Lions to get off to a hot start?
I mean, it's very important, but also it's important that they just not stop fighting. I know you're going up against the Super Bowl champions on a Thursday night, but if you could just go in there and continue to fight regardless of how bad or how tough this other team might be, then that's enough for me. And I don't just mean continue fighting in the chance that you're just keeping the score close. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can sit here and have Patrick Mahomes worried about what play is going to come there or who's going to come after him. If you can sit here and give Travis Kelce no space, if you can have the Kansas City receivers on lock for the entire game, then that is enough for me, because you can't go into game 2 and just be like, oh, well, we'll just stick with the same game plan we had. No. If you can sit there and compete with the Super Bowl champs, then regardless down the line, the rest of the schedule, you can beat any team that you have coming up. If you can just sit here and say, hey, we hung with the Super Bowl champions, we can do this the rest of the way out and finish the season off right.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits every narrative we said about the starting quarterback. Is like he's one you can win with, one you can win in spite of, but he's never really the one that's gonna like bring you back in challenging moments and big moments. You do against the Vikings and missed the playoffs that year and also ended up in the top 10. But I don't, in my opinion, I mean, maybe go back to 2018 against Patrick Mahomes, speaking of KC, but outside that game, like, when's he ever out-dueled another quarterback? When's he ever been known? Like, when's that been his narrative? When that's been his MO? It hasn't been. So you have to start hot. Maybe not even just hot. Just keep him where the game's in front of him. He's not trying to chase anything back from behind, because this is not his game. And on the season long too. Again, if your goal is playoffs, at the very least. Chris, I mean,
yeah,
are we tripping?
No, you guys aren't tripping. You guys are 100% right. But I am gonna push back just a little bit. And again, obviously, you're not rooting for, you're not hoping for, you're not expecting the 1-6 start that happened last year. But it did show you that when this team's back is against the wall, they are not going to quit. They're not going to give up on Dan Campbell. They are not going to give up on this coaching staff, this season, this franchise. This is a team that can rally from behind and defy all odds. So this is a team that, while you don't want to be put in that position, this team should be comfortable in that position more so than most teams. Again, you want to start, it's essential, especially with the higher expectations this year, but this is a team that's shown that they can handle a very high level of adversity, especially for a young team. So I have faith in them throughout the whole season.
Yeah. And going like way too into it, and this is looking at it in a long-term way. If you want to nurture a possible superstar receiver back into like having a bright future, speaking of Jameson Williams, who's been kind of like, even words that I've said that, I didn't mean to be taken as like a critical stance of him. Just like me wanting to look out for him, keep him safe in the fucking second most dangerous city in the country. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot riding on him. And you start 0-6, he's coming back to that negative energy that he's already had around him. We've seen the situation with Eric Ebron. We've seen the situation with other guys too. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but like Jeff Okuda.
Yeah.
That stench. That's why, like, I say things all the time, like, speak positivity, like, speak it to existence, because, like, sometimes you gotta keep that mindset to rush through the bullshit, because that bullshit, it's so easy to let it drag you down. Yeah. And I don't want that to happen to Jameson Williams, because I think we've seen that he could truly be something special. So I think that fast start has a little something to do with that too, and in a long-term run, with a piece that you made a heavy investment in when you traded with a division opponent to move to 12 to get him. That's again, like, just maybe stretching a little bit there, but I feel that way about it too.
No, it's for sure. Stuff like that compounds, and he's already obviously in a place that he doesn't want to be in when missing the first 6 games. If he goes out there and he sees his team again start 1-5 or something like that, it will just compound that kind of information or that kind of thought process more, and could lead to some bad things. I'm not going to speak to the psyche of Jameson Williams and what he's dealing with right now, but I'm sure that he's not happy with himself, and he'd love to be out there playing with his guys. What is okay, so Lions' first 7 games. Chiefs, Seahawks, Falcons, Packers, Panthers, Bucks, Ravens. What is the least amount of wins you would accept in that stretch?
Can you go through this one more time?
Chiefs,
okay.
Seahawks, Falcons,
okay.
Packers, Panthers, Bucks, and Ravens.
Packers, I'm giving W. Bucks, I'm gonna give them W. Out of, like, speaking into the universe, like I just said, I gotta give you the W against Seattle too. Mm-hmm. So you should give me the first 5 games. 7.
Panthers too. You didn't mention.
Panthers and Falcons.
Panthers and Falcons.
I need 4.
Yeah.
And another reason too. I mean, you want to talk about, like, me needing 4? I need 4 specifically. I need 1 out of the Seahawks, because you gotta get your lick back. 2 out of the Panthers. You gotta get that lick back too. And 3 out of the Packers, just because that's a division opponent. You got to put your nuts on them real quick for a minute. Just let them know what's happening. It's big bro season over here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Not just us. Everyone. National media. Like, you gotta flex.
You gotta show them whose North it is.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not gonna say this is the least amount I'd expect, or the least amount I'd take, but I'm expecting 5. Because I do expect them to beat the Falcons, the Packers, the Panthers, and the Bucks, and then give me 1 win out of Chiefs, Seahawks, or Ravens. Whoever that is, that you're gonna beat out of those 3 teams. Those are the best 3 teams you play in the first 7 games. I expect a 1 win out of those 3, and then to clean up the scraps on the other teams.
Yeah, 5.
That's fair.
I'm not saying that's the least amount I'd accept, or if they don't win 5 games.
No, I know. But that's fair.
I expect 5 wins out of that 7-game stretch.
Chris, you getting jumpy in there. What's up?
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. The way you broke it down is 100% how I would agree with that. I think that's a good way of looking at it. You count those wins as those wins against the Panthers, the Packers, the Bucks, and what was the other team? Falcons should all be W's. And then it's definitely conceivable to win one of those 3 games, if not 2 of those 3 games against Seattle, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. The one that will be really important to me in those first 7 games is Seattle, because I do think, for everything you guys said, Seattle is going to be a much improved team despite being a better team than the Lions last season. And so that could really determine seeding. You saw it cost the Lions last year. It could very well cost them in a different way this year. Maybe not the difference of missing out in the playoffs, but playoff seeding and matchups and all that. Seattle's a team I'm really looking at. I think that's one of the most crucial games for the Lions this season.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's going to be a team fighting for the division, fighting for a wild card spot in the NFC. So it's a team you're going to want to beat, because obviously we all assume that San Francisco is going to win that division, but Seahawks are a pretty damn good team, and they did get better through the draft. So we'll see what's going on. But if the Lions do start 1-6 again, I'm going to need somebody to talk to, and luckily we have that service here with SMA, or the Sports Marketing Agency. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps you fight the stigma about seeking help. So if you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com and get the help you deserve.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. It definitely helps. And Elgato in the Woodward Sports chat says, this man Eazy spreading COVID everywhere, LOL. It's funny because our first podcast ever. The first one that started it all, Eazy literally had COVID. And he was sitting right next to me the whole time.
And I sound just like this.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that on the second episode. Spencer told me no.
Super spreader.
He's like, we're going to get canceled, bro.
We know a legit super spreader in our midst.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I don't have COVID.
Nasty. Did you end up getting COVID from him?
No, I didn't.
Wow, that's crazy.
I've never had COVID.
Wow.
That you
Good
know
for you.
That I know of.
Could be asymptomatic.
Yeah. I actually got COVID. I actually got COVID from potting with my boy too. It was the exact same scenario.
I'm sorry.
Oh, potting with you.
Yeah, don't refer to that.
I thought you said potty with my boy. I was like,
yeah,
you guys taking shits together?
Yeah.
It's like those videos where the
yeah.
toilets are sitting like right across each other.
Hey, yeah, I'm upper deck.
All right, Eazy. You said you had a stat about Team starting slow.
I fucking hate that guy. Oh, yeah, I do. Fun fact. So here's the landscape of the NFL in Week 8 of last season. I'm going to tell you if this team's in the playoffs or not. All right, Buffalo Bills 5-1.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles 6-0, obviously.
Yeah.
KC 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas 5-2.
Pretty good starts.
One a little bit of a slow start. Actually, I think they started 0-2. Cincinnati Bengals 4-3. They got that 4.
Still a pretty good start.
All right. New York Giants 6-1. Minnesota Vikings 5-1. Baltimore Ravens 4-3. Like that's all the way down to number 8. That's how many playoff teams there are, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, each side. Like, shit mattered, bro.
DNC said potting. Like, I just picture like that scene from that movie Ghost, where she's like making the clay pot, and Patrick Swayze comes up behind her, and that's Chris and his boy.
Or he's got like a heavy ass like Boston accent.
JB, can you find a screenshot of that scene and send it to Chris? But
a heavy accent. Oh, he's partying together.
Oh, he's potting. He's potting. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty pretty like straightforward. If you start off the season well, you have a better opportunity to make the playoffs, because then you're not playing from behind. Then you don't have games like at the end of the season, it's not, oh fuck, we need to win these 3 games in a row to make the playoffs.
Like I don't want none of that, because like unless the division's close, like I need to know like the division's ours. That's this division specifically this year, 2023 is NFC North. Like I don't feel threatened by any team. Like, you can give me the Vikings. I give you the bullshit about them winning the 11 games by 1 score. One of them being against the Detroit Lions before they even fully developed. And so like, almost like I don't know, just get more experience under the belt.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say about the Bears. They're just not making that big of a jump based off the acquisitions they made. They're just not. And then 3 being the Packers are an absolute fucking question mark.
Yeah, it's the division is ripe for the taking. Like a groomer on Discord, you got to make sure you go out there and you take it. Like, it is something that needs to happen. This is the Lions team we've heard people talk about. Oh, I've never seen a Lions team that has a better complete roster or more expectations than the one this year. And it's true. On top of
weak division,
Aaron Rodgers is fucking gone.
Yep.
The Minnesota Vikings are falling apart. They're going to cut Dalvin Cook. They lost Eric Kendricks. They traded Zadarius Smith. They're falling apart, and the Bears are still in the infantile stages of a rebuild.
Yep.
So this is where you need to go out, and you need to put your dick on the rest of the division. You need to take your claim, and you can't start off slow, because then you're playing from behind the rest of the season. Then you're trying to go after it. Then you're trying to make sure, like I said, in the last 5 weeks of the season, we got to win 4 of these games to make the playoffs. When's the last time? I don't think ever in my lifetime we've been in a situation where the Lions are resting their starters week 17 or week 16.
Never.
No, that is the position the Lions want to be in.
Yeah.
That is the position where Jared Goff doesn't have to go out there and play that last game against Minnesota, because you got the division in a wrap. You got a playoff berth in a wrap.
Ooh, Paul Thomas, some fucking heat. Lions are building Miami Heat. Basketball, football.
Fitting the system, some undrafted, but they're establishing a culture. What is the one thing you hear about Miami Heat? Heat culture. Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. Mm-hmm. That's what the Lions are trying to build. Chris, do you have that picture?
I do.
So this is how Chris got COVID from his boy.
So out of context.
Potting. That was Chris's boy.
A little closer, but yeah.
Potting to get that.
Chris is definitely
spread the COVID, for sure.
That's just how Chris says hello when they're on The Office. How you been?
How you doing?
Heavy.
Every time Spencer's at his computer desk, I just walk over.
You are.
I walk over like that, and I just put my hands around him while he's typing on the keyboard.
You are somewhat of a close talker.
You are a close talker.
Yeah, I am, for sure.
But no, there's a lot that the Lions gain from starting off hot, not starting 1-6, and
starting off like Chris.
Starting off like Chris, getting hot. But you like what JB said
about
your
weekend?
How this team.
Let me tell you,
this team is battle tested. They started off slow last year, but still fought. So they're in a position where if it happens, you have faith that they can do it again. But you don't want that situation. You don't want to have that 10-game stretch of immaculate football, with the one blemish being the Carolina game costing them a playoff berth. It's not something reasonable to expect a team to play that good It's not reasonable to expect the team to be injury-free for that long at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to set yourself up to where you don't have to play like that at the end of the year, where you're comfortable flowing into the playoffs.
Yeah. And you almost, like, it buys you that little extra time. If somebody does get injured and they can come back around playoff time, is like, all right, we got a couple. We can coast a little bit. Not coasting. Obviously, that's not the game plan here. But, like, if you're ineffective a little bit with your full roster, you want some wins stacked up in that situation. Now, speaking of this roster, you have a topic in here about DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Still sounds like he wants out of Arizona.
It does.
And you said this sounds like he wants a team out like Detroit?
Yeah, Chris, did you got that graphic real quick of DeAndre Hopkins' demands for his next team, which
yes,
he didn't show up to OTAs. Started today for Arizona. And this is what DeAndre Hopkins said. DeAndre Hopkins on what he's looking for in a new team. Stable management, a QB who loves the game. He's stressed Kyler Murray does, but he's injured. And a great defense because defense wins championships. So what do the Lions have now on their team? They've got stable management in the front office. They're building a great defense.
Yeah.
With all the pieces they've added, a great secondary. That defensive line looked great at the end of the year. And Jack Campbell, who hopefully can solidify that linebacker position for the Detroit Lions. And a quarterback who loves the game. So I know we both have our feelings about Jared Goff and what he is as a player, as a talent in this league. But I don't think you can question if he loves the game or not.
Fair.
I think it's proven that he goes out there, he fights for his guys, he rallies for his guys, he dealt with a lot. And he's shown that he loves the game of football and he's passionate about the game of football.
Nah, how about that defense? Because, like, we're opportunistic or optimistic about it, but I don't think DeAndre Hopkins has the same expectations as we do.
I think he very well can. He saw what that defense did to them 2 years ago when they were garbage. What they did to the Arizona Cardinals, fucking destroyed Kyler Murray's psyche. Shut them down, ruined their season. Last year, you don't think these guys watch NFL football or pay attention to NFL football? What they did down the stretch, being a great defense in the league, all the pieces you added and the jump you're expecting from an Aiden Hutchinson, a Kirby Joseph, a James Houston, a Malcolm Rodriguez.
You're saying it's the Lions, fan. I'm talking about DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm pretty sure DeAndre Hopkins watched the last 10 games of the season last year.
I mean, you don't know that.
I do.
No, we don't. What do you mean you do?
I watched them with him.
Source. Trust me, bro.
Source, trust me, bro. Listen, I love for you already know. I've been on the track record like go trade room.
D-Hop would be amazing, addition if he gets cut.
What?
He's not at OTAs.
Does he go to OTAs? No, because he never went to OTAs.
He goes to OTAs. It was a pretty big deal that he wasn't there.
Trust me,
bro. I've never seen anything about him missing OTAs before this year.
It's because like a lot of times,
and I've never seen a player who's
OTAs.
happy with the team and ready to go put out a demand of the next team he plays for.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I can't sell that.
Blade No Icewood said D-Hop going to Baltimore.
Oof.
That'd be fucking scary.
KC.
Baltimore would win the Super Bowl. If
That's what I'm saying, bro. If he gets released, like, Detroit may be on the list.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're cracking the top four. You know, like KC,
fucking dude.
Baltimore.
I would be so pissed if you went
Philly.
to KC.
Fucking all those teams at AFC. Buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that. Lions.
I feel you. I would hope so. I just don't know if it's a for sure thing. Chris, I know you had something to say on it.
I just want to stop and pause at this first one again, and just how good it is to have that first one checked off. Stable management.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, us being Detroit fans here, we've seen this through particularly the Lions, but all of the franchises in Detroit over the last couple decades. We've seen this terrible management and terrible regimes, and just to know that you have stable management checked off. Like, honestly, I can't tell you. I've always been envious of the Boston fans, of the LA fans, of the teams that have just had San Antonio, that have had just model franchises for decade plus. It's just it's so great to go through this kind of turmoil and know that you have that. Do I think he's coming to Detroit? Like Eazy said, probably not. It's probably like a top 5 destination at best. But at the end of the day, it's just nice to know that you could check off the bare minimum Like it sounds simple and it sounds stupid, but it really does feel good.
It does feel good because you've never been able to say that about the Lions ever. You've never been able to say, yeah, they got stable front office. They have competent, up top management, and now they do. Now you can say it. So it does have a good ring to it, and good feeling to it.
Blade no Icewood. Damn, sound like he going to the Eagles.
Fuck. He probably will, man. But would you rather be wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 1?
He's probably wide receiver 2 in that situation.
Yeah,
but still. I mean, he might be at the point where he don't care. What? Call the Devontae Adams shit. Have you seen that? I mean, I'm not like saying this is a thing to go to Detroit, but like on the conversation of like unhappy wide receivers, like they went and got them a number 16 as quarterback in Jimmy G.
Yeah.
He's been NFC championships and won so many games, and he's like, oh hell no.
Yeah, he was not happy with the direction the offense is going.
He's ready to D-hop. You know what I'm saying?
He's the best wide receiver in the league. But let me tell you guys about Planet Fitness, then we'll get right back into some more Lions talk, because Planet Fitness is thrilled to announce that high schoolers ages of 14 to 19 in the United States and Canada can work out for free all summer long from May 15th through August 31st, thanks to the high school summer pass. Or if you're not that age, you can just get your own card. It starts at $10.99, or you can upgrade to the black card for $24.99. Get use of all the amenities. You can join in club or online at planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
What's up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on the audio platforms, leave a 5-star review. From my man to the left, Speak Eazy. We've got Chris Platty on the TD booth, JB Smooth on the ones and twos. I'm Spencer Axter. We just got done having a little discussion about the Detroit Lions, what they're going to do, possible DeAndre Hopkins maybe. But something happened, and that came up from the NFL, is that per the Lions' request, this is one of the rules that the Lions asked the NFL to implement.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys remember, but back a couple months ago, they had all the lists of the teams. Every team sent 3 rule changes they'd like to see make.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of different ones talking about, Thursday night football games, a whole bunch of different things. But one of the Lions rules that they sent to the NFL that they'd like to see a change about was the quarterback position. And they said there's no way quarterbacks should be able to run outside of the pocket. They shouldn't be able to do that. They should have to stay in the pocket forever. No, they said there should be another.
It's only fair.
If we can't run outside of the pocket, nobody should be able to. No, they should. They said that the NFL should allow another quarterback to be dressed on game day. So that would be a third quarterback dressed on game day, and I cannot read that. But NFL owners voted on it, and they voted in favor of the Detroit Lions' proposal of having a third quarterback dressed on game day, essentially a 47th member of the roster in emergency situations, to make sure something like what happened to the 49ers in the NFC Championship doesn't happen again, where you have all your quarterbacks go down, and you've got Christian McCaffrey taking snaps as quarterback in the most important game of the year.
As the
go ahead.
As like the guy who loves franchise mode or Madden, GM mode and 2K, it's only fair that you have to savvy up your roster enough to have a guy ready and available to play the quarterback position. as an owner, if I were in the owner's shoes or the NFL shoes,
Governor.
well, I want to make true, fair. If I want to make some bread, then yeah, you go with this rule. Because let's be real about it. Yeah, we watched the rest of the 49ers game. Actually, no, I was watching fucking videos about Wills. Yeah, I sent them to you.
Yeah, you were.
When they lost their quarterback, I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Conference Championship, it was over.
It was.
It was done. We knew what it was.
That Eagles defense is just licking their chops.
Yeah, and if you had a guy just like seemingly capable.
We see what Shanahan can do with Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had a Colt McCoy or a Tim Boyle.
Right.
Or just somebody that could throw the ball.
So if I'm a governor of a team, a governor.
I think it's just governors in NBA. But it's still funny.
NBA is a little bit more progressive, so the NFL will get there someday. If I was a governor.
No, they're not. We're the owners. These are my boys. That's what Jerry Jones says.
If I was governor of the team, and I'm going with this rule. You know, I need 3 quarterbacks. What?
I'll say I need 3 quarterbacks.
I said if I was a governor now, we got to say, Chris.
I mean, look, let's just call it what it is. The Lions are pushing for 2 quarterbacks to be ahead of Jared Goff. That's all this rule is.
Yo, that's so fucking right, though.
It's not.
Have a whole extra chance to fucking upgrade over this bump. No, I'm sorry. I'm kidding. But
that means Hendon Hooker can be dressed on game day.
Just saying. And I know Dan Campbell says a red shirt season for him. What?
Oh,
what?
Nothing.
What?
You said red shirt? I thought you said register. So you're like, I know Dan Campbell is a registered.
Gun.
A registered what?
A registered license to kill.
Voter. A registered grit master.
No, but I know he said it was like a red shirt season for our guy, Hendon Hooker. But like, bro, like, no fucking shit. Anybody trying to make a thing of that? Like, he has a torn ACL.
Yeah, Gawker's like, ha, you see? It's a red shirt season for like, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. He's coming off a torn ACL, and you got Jared Goff, who just had one of the best years of his career.
And I promise you, if it came down to it, at some point in the back half of the season, he probably more than likely winning that job over Nate Sudfeld. I'm just saying.
Yes, he would beat out Nate Sudfeld.
Again, towards like the back half of the season, like when you because that's the beautiful part about him being a little bit older. Again, another thing that they're trying to bash for what reason? He's on the team. If a guy's performing well for you, who gives a single fuck how old he is?
Epic said, I thought you said registered too. Thought you were gonna drop an Eazy bomb, like a Woj bomb.
A red shirt.
Dan Campbell is a registered. Well, he's a registered cool guy.
registered kneecap biter.
Yeah.
License to bite knees.
License to bite.
That's all I'm saying.
I just think it's cool that the NFL's listening to the Lions.
Yeah, that is cool.
What does that mean for Hendon Hooker's rookie year, though? You think he actually suits up?
Yeah, I mean,
emergency quarterback.
If they're winning the NFC North, yeah. Game 17 or Week 18, why not? Why not see what we got there?
I wouldn't mind it either, and it is good though for the league because nobody wants to see fucking Christian McCaffrey taking snaps at quarterback in the NFC Championship game. Nobody wants to see that, and this is a car accident sport, so like people are gonna get injured, especially the guys that are standing there, feet planted, waiting for freakish human beings to come take their heads off.
Jack Campbell.
What?
Jack Campbell.
What about him?
That's a linebacker position, just like secondary line of blocking.
He is a linebacker. Very
good. It's
good.
a full head of steam of a fucking offensive lineman.
I was just talking about like a quarterback getting sacked.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, because this is a rule about quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's fair.
100%.
I already told you, your boy hit 9 holes. Nice 9.
Yeah, how'd it go? Only 9?
Yeah, only 9. I didn't. So going into it, I'm like, I don't do this. This is my second time ever doing it. I don't want to fucking suck for like 9 more holes.
Oh, you're gonna suck for a long time.
Yeah. Your boy was.
What'd you shoot for 9? Pause. Oh, you're gonna suck.
Oh, you're gonna suck for a long time.
What'd you shoot?
I don't even know. But so we had this guy, shout out to Darren, by the way. Fucking hell of a golfer. My boy Jesse a little bit late to the tee time. So Darren had like joined him with us. Luckily his boy like did some last minute or whatever too. So Darren really good, Jesse mid. But I was up there with Jesse. And Darren's a great as coach too, but like
you didn't count your strokes? Pause.
No, I just kept along with him like with Jesse. I'm saying like how long is it taking Jesse to get here? Because like No competition with the guy Darren we were with. He was fucking killing it. But like, no, I was right along with Jesse, and a couple of them, like, I was like, to be honest.
Were you getting out of the tee box? Like for drives?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Is it that bad for some people?
Oh,
There was one. I was.
Yeah.
But they're just like, yeah, dude, this is your second time. You got a lot of potential. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. I'm just fucking gripping and ripping.
Hell yeah.
And it's working.
Balls.
It's working out. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever repeat performance, but my putting game too on the first one.
Yeah.
You'd have been proud. I wish you were there, honestly.
I know.
I thought about hitting you up.
I haven't been on the links yet this year.
It's called Rackham. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not next Monday. Not this Monday. Next Monday, but the following one. Because I have those Mondays off.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
got me sick.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
Sorry.
No, I miss golf. I haven't golfed yet this year.
That's the first time I had fun golfing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You just go out there, drink beers, and smoke weed, play music.
No music though.
Were you driving the cart?
Every on and off, yeah. I like fucking when they're driving. You gotta go get the ball.
Yeah, scoop it on the side.
Just scramble this one because Darren's killing it. You know.
Yeah.
That's fun for drunk Eazy.
My boy flipped the cart one time.
Yeah.
We were at this like expensive ass resort for my friend's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And like these two guys that don't really golf that much were in front of us, and we fucking turn the hill and just see the cart fucking on the side. And he's like standing up in it laughing and shit. I was like, oh my god, dude.
I was concerned because me and my boy we're bigger fellas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A couple
Some
times.
of those sharp turns.
Yeah. Like, hey Jay, bro. What's going on over here? And it's funny too. We first got in that bitch. He was like, "Yeah, this one sucks." And I was like, "No, bro, we're just two fat motherfuckers in the same car.
Bitch ain't going."
Yeah, car it ain't the cart's fault that we fucking eat too goddamn much.
Hey, dude, golf's fun, man. Everybody should golf. JB, do you golf?
Not unless it's Top Golf.
Oh, okay.
I am terrible at golf.
I do want to try that though too, cause so I learned the fucking what do you call them? Clubs a little bit better.
Yeah.
Cause like I was riding with my 7.
7-iron's a good club.
Yeah, my mid game was straight as fuck. Cause everything else is sucked dick. But
yeah,
But I was asking them, and they told me like your 7 you should be able to go like 150 with. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you're a good golfer, if you
Can
golf
you?
a lot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in that bitch. I'm like, there's no way. I was like this is like my fucking midi. Like,
Yeah, my 7-iron I can hit probably like 125 to 150.
you have the patience to go with a bad golfer?
Huh?
You have the patience to go with a bad golfer?
I'm not a good golfer. Like,
yeah.
nobody's good at golf in their first 5 years of golfing.
Wait, you've only been golfing 5 years?
I've only been golfing for 2 years.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Last year was my first full season.
You love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right.
Chris, do you golf?
No, I've never done anything other than putt when I was really young. Literally. So I've never done Top Golf,
Dude,
none of that. I do want to.
We should have a Heavy's golf trip.
Let's do it. Oh, that'd
All
be
four of
hella
us,
content.
I'm down.
That'd be
We'd have to go on like a Tuesday bright and early, because like if we get out there on like a Saturday, people would be pissed. Pace and play and shit. We'd be letting everybody pass us.
That's what happened at some point. We used to start scrambling because.
Oh yeah, people get upset, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. I think
I'm so down for that.
Chris, you would. I don't know where you'd find clubs that would. Like,
why is it like? Because I'm
you're
tall.
so tall.
Like,
Yeah.
is it difficult?
Oh yeah, you'd have to. You could ask. Oh, you could ask Steak.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Probably.
That's a good point.
It's good. Maybe invite Stick.
Yeah.
Stick loves doing that kind of shit all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
It's not on here. But the morning Woodward show talked about running backs.
Backfields, yeah.
Yeah, you want to do that and get back?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm down.
I saw Jeff's. Grab Jeff's off Twitter and send it to Chris.
All right, I'll try to find it.
List. So.
Well, how about you grab? I'll tell you guys about Swiss.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where you should be getting your insurance. All right, my guy Mark over at Swiss Insurance will get you right. Make sure your voice is never like this. Everything will go perfect with Mark. This is verbatim by him. I'm sure he didn't say this. These are Mark's words, but. I'm still able to do the show. It's because of Mark at Swiss Insurance. Make sure you guys hit him up. That's Mark at SwissINS.com. That's Mark at SwissINS.com.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots, he scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on audio platforms, leave a 5-star review. You know who we are. You've been rocking with us for a while. Make sure you share the stream, though. Tell a friend. Get the heavies out there. Tell your mom to watch us. She'll have a good time. But Eazy teased it before break. Jeff Ifrady made a top 4, I think it was, or was it top 5 running back room in the NFL. And this is what he has. Number 1, he has the San Francisco 49ers with Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell. Number 2, he's got the Detroit Lions with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 3, Seahawks with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. And then number 4, he's got the Bengals with Joe Mixon and Chase Brown. How do you feel about those rankings? You feel that's a little homerish? Well, where would you give Jeff on that ranking? And where would you put the Lions on your own ranking?
First of all, you should leave his sexuality out of this. All right?
What?
Who cares? It was homerish. It's his ranking.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how he feels.
sorry.
All right? Secondly, I mean, he has him number 2?
Yes. Well, I don't know if they're in order. But
Okay.
No, he said they're not in any particular order.
Okay.
Oh,
what was the point?
Is there a room I'm missing to where the Lions can't be in the top 4 if Gibbs is what you expect them to be? Because I think we're all highly respectable of David Montgomery's career up to this standpoint and his resume, right?
Yeah.
And then you're throwing that onto a team with a way better offensive line to help produce the first 1,000-yard season of Jamal Williams' career.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this in the beginning of the show.
We're not talking about offensive lines.
No, because it goes into play with this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's going to be some numbers for me to bring up and make an argument for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, albeit stay healthy, to be a top 4 running back stable in the NFL. I truly believe that. Yeah, I have no problem with this. I don't care about sexuality. I don't think it's homerish.
It's fair. I just don't. I think he should have had the Packers up there.
You think he should have had the Packers?
I think the Packers should have been on that list. You look at Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon backfield. I think that's 2 guys that would be a starting running back on a majority of teams in this league. And he had a lot of rookies in there.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies in there.
That's fair.
And, I don't know. I think the Packers should definitely be on this list at some point. The Lions definitely are up there. Top 4 could be a little much for me.
I mean, can you name... That's the other part of it, too. Not to put you on the spot, but can you name 4 other better ones?
Yeah. San Francisco, Green Bay. I would say probably. I don't know.
See,
I looked at Cleveland.
Probably.
I looked at Cleveland, and it's like Nick Chubb is better than both of those guys combined, but then they're backups and nobody.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking stables because once Kareem Hunt's gone.
Yeah.
Come on. It's them.
Yeah.
Top 4. Tell me. Come on, JB. Give me some backup here.
No, I got to agree with you because Jeff and Adam this morning went through every single conference, through every single team, trying to compare their 2 running backs, the starter and the backup, to anyone that he had on that list, and they couldn't pick any 2 to beat out the Lions or anyone he had. So he did say that Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon was an honorable mention as well, too.
What about the Colts?
I mean, they probably should have been there ahead of the other.
Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss.
No. Fuck Zach Moss. What? No.
I'm just saying, Jonathan Taylor is leagues above.
That's fine, but we're talking like duos.
I mean, Zach Moss isn't a scrub.
I mean, he's a scrub, according to me. I want to be super.
They're bringing up Atlanta in the chat as well.
That's a good one.
Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson.
That's a good one. Hold on, let me go look at Jeff's list again. We got the Planet Fitness commercial going on. Keep it back up, Chris.
Yeah.
Baltimore?
No.
J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards?
Nope. All right. So definitely San Fran.
Joe Mixon might not even be on.
Yeah, Joe Mixon. So I'll probably dismiss the Bengals.
He's got 3 rookies in there.
I take the Bengals out, and I'd put in Green Bay. And arguably, you could take Seattle out. But here's one thing with Seattle: no matter who's been back there, they've been fairly productive.
Yeah, same with the Baltimore.
And going off of Baltimore's been like that rush heavy defense because of what they got going on with Lamar Jackson and also former offensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh, actually.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name, but that's like his game. Greg Roman.
Yeah.
That's his style, is run the fuck out of football. Remember the San Francisco 49ers went to the Super Bowl before, Kyle Shanahan? That's what they did. They ran the fuck out of the ball.
Uncle LFG said Moss is as good as Monty. I don't know about that.
That's wild. Hold on. Can you call in with an argument for that one? That's fucking insane. Am I tripping right there?
I like Zach Moss. I don't think he's
as good as Monty.
David Montgomery, though. No.
Has he even had a 1,000-yard season? I don't think so. Actually, I got it right here.
No, I can say
in his career, he's at 1,200 yards. That's a wild statement. He's never rushed over 500.
The Jets, Breece Hall, Michael Carter. That's a really good one too.
That's a good one, but I mean, are we putting him over Dave Montgomery and? I mean, Jameer, obviously, we got to see what's going to happen out of him. But
that's what I'm saying. There's 3 rookies on there.
Listen, I'd probably take out the Bengals. I want to take out Seattle, but they've been consistent for a very long time. And if the same guy drafted...
Kenneth Walker was a dog.
That's what I'm saying.
And, Tyler Chavez, the Chavez. He's talking about the Browns. And, that's the first thing I did.
They lost, what's his name?
Kareem Hunt. Yeah. It's Nick Chubb and then nobody.
On top of Nick Chubb having some miles on him now.
I mean, he's still Nick Chubb.
It's fair, but once guys get those miles on him, it changes.
Same with Tennessee.
Le'Veon Bell. Agent Peterson's been Agent Peterson, but they've had their moments. I'm not saying he's up there yet, but I get it. Running backs, we always said that. That's one of the reasons why the running back position in the first round is so controversial. Is you feel like you only have the 3 to 4 good years out of them for sure. Am I banking on Nick Chubb doing that again? By the numbers.
Patriots got Ramondre Stevenson and James Robinson.
No. I mean, healthy James Robinson before all the injuries and shit like that for sure.
I mean, as your backup, though?
This version was quite different. It hasn't been the same. It's the reason why when he got traded, he went for less than DeAndre Swift. And he arguably has been more productive than DeAndre Swift. He's got a 1,000-yard season under his belt.
What about Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams?
All due respect to Jamal. We almost have a Alvin Kamara Jr. and Gibbs, and we already know what Montgomery is to both what Jamal and Swift was. I have no issue with these guys being in the top 4. I mean, just based off big predictions, obviously, because you have the rookies in there, but you're allowed to do that. Fuck it. Yeah. That's why we make these lists. That's why it becomes conversation, What
about right now as it is Minnesota? Dalvin Cook, Alexander Mattison.
Ooh.
Obviously, we assume Dalvin Cook's not going to be there, but right now on paper.
That's probably one you got to put some respect on. Maybe not so much in the name world, although Dalvin Cook deserves that. And even Alexander Mattison to this point I think would. But off of the game, when they've missed Dalvin Cook, Madison, at least against the Lions, in my experience, has accepted them seamlessly. Even as a fantasy owner. I'm not going to say to the point of where Dalvin Cook's production, but enough to be damn, Madison's nice. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Madison's nice.
So are they the top 4 for you then? I mean, you brought them up.
If it stays as it is, yeah, probably. What about this one? New York Giants. Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida.
No. I mean, as much as, knock on wood, Jahmyr Gibbs came down that same path, Matt Breida is one of those very gimmicky guys, I can't rely on him to carry my offense in the absence of Saquon Barkley. And same thing with the abuse in the body. Saquon Barkley, you probably expect another big season out of him. He's obviously that premier talent, but he's also been riddled with injuries throughout his entire career. If I'm just making safe bets in the 2023 season, you want to break it down to a top 5 rather than top 4 to feel more comfortable, I probably would. Yeah, now that you mentioned Madison and Dalvin Cook. But
and Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, and I'm taking the Bengals out and replacing them regardless. But probably top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 for sure.
All right.
JB, I mean, you're the homer. No offense to your sexuality and stuff.
No, I mean, I don't mind this list. The Mixon one is probably one that's a little bit questionable, just because I don't know the rookie Chase Brown all that well. So I probably would swap that out with Green Bay, but the rest of the list I think is pretty solid. I mean, you can't count out Seattle's running back group regardless. K9 came out and impressed everyone this past season. So I think the list is pretty fair. I mean, you already know CMC's, accomplishments, so I think it's a fair list.
Am I too dismissive of Tyler Algier?
I think so. He had a great year last year.
But also, I guess he wasn't the only weapon. That Drake London. But, like, who else? What's his name?
Somebody said the Chargers. They got Austin Eckler excuse me, and Josh Kelly.
I like Eckler a lot, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe Austin Eckler.
But
yeah, it's a lot of the ones that you're thinking of, like the ones that stand out when you think about running backs. It's one dude. It's one guy, and then the rest of the depth chart is eh.
I mean, what is a lot of attempts for a running back? Like 200, right? I mean, I'm saying out loud. You can tell me no, but like,
I don't know. How many attempts did Nick Chubb have last year?
That's a good question. Or even
I got it.
Because like Tyler Algier, I'm looking at the numbers right now.
Nick Chubb had 302 attempps last year.
Okay, and how many yards did he finish with?
1,500.
Tyler Algier actually probably a little better than I give him respect for, but 210 rushes. Although Chubb probably really the only weapon there.
In 2021, Nick Chubb had 228 attempts and he rushed for 1,259 yards.
Yeah, I feel like the 200 mark is like a lot of fucking carries.
Yeah.
Tyler Algier,
200 mark I feel like is like a RB1.
Yeah, or at least should be hitting 1,000. If you got 200, all right, Tyler Algier, 210 carries, hit 1,000 yards. Are we overselling that rookie year a little bit?
No, that's a great rookie year.
Yeah, you're right.
How many, just 1,000 straight, or how many yards?
1,035.
No, yeah, that's a great year.
200 touches, though, could that be expected out of like a fucking...
It's not. He's not going to get that much this year, but that is partially like if you expect Bijan to be what he's been projected as, if you think Bijan's going to be this great player in the NFL.
But am I allowed to expect 1,000 yards out of 200 plus carries?
Out of who?
By anyone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I get people want to put
But you got to
Bijan
be
there.
good to get 200 carries. How many carries did Jamal Williams have last year?
Well, the other guy they had was a fucking wide receiver converted running back, and Mike, what's his name? Can't think of his name. Cordell Patterson. And he even dealt with some injury issues too.
Jamal Williams had 262 carries.
Yeah, 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
Granted,
Still 50 more carries.
Yeah. All right, I'll give some respect to Algier. Top 5? You putting Algier and Robinson top 5?
I might.
Yeah.
I might.
Bitch, I might be.
No, over the Lions. Yeah, I'd probably, since Dalvin Cook's more than likely gone, I'm not going to put Minnesota in there. I would take out Cincinnati, put in Green Bay, and then Atlanta might be up there.
Because if we're doing pound for pound, then you get a lot more of those like names in there. But this is like, I feel like
rooms.
Yeah, just game almost in general.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, same thing with Jamal. Like Jamal's really not in the conversation without an offensive line. Detroit Lions have that offensive line for both Gibbs and Montgomery. Like that's money for me.
Yeah,
easily top 5. I don't think there's anything homer about it. Are we being homers, Chris?
No, I think it's fair. I think the one thing that people are not bringing into this, or I don't know if you guys are factoring this in, is not only the rushing but the receiving ability of both Gibbs and Montgomery being and Gibbs again is projection, but being able to be a receiver out of the backfield and that added dynamic. So I think that the versatility of this Lions running back room will be a big key for them being a top 5. I don't think on standalone rushing this would be a top 5 running back room, but when you add in the versatility, if Ben Johnson's able to maximize that and both of those players are effective in that, then I think you're talking a top 5 running back room.
Yeah. And Bladen Icewood makes a good point. Atlanta had no quarterback play and he still got 1,000 yards.
That's fair. Stacking the box.
Yeah.
And
their threesome now, pause, he said it again, of Algier, Bijan Robinson, and Cordell Patterson is pretty damn good. That's a pretty good threesome.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Did they bring Patterson back?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Well, if you're making that, you bring a third name in there, that'd be up there for sure.
Oh, yeah. If you bring a third name in there, that's probably number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that sounds to say, but,
But you remember, what's the name? Louis Riddick said the Lions' 1-2 punch is as good as any team in the NFL.
And that's how I feel. So if you want to put him in top 4, top 5 for sure. I don't think there's no debating. But
is it wild that I'd say Green Bay's number 1 if it's just 1-2 punch?
I don't know, dude. A.J. Dillon, like, really regressed. Like, he didn't look the same as he did year 1.
Yeah.
But, I mean, based off year 1, though, yeah. Like, I picked him up in fantasy, fully expecting him to fucking just eat off the goal line yards. And just even when the opportunity given, he wasn't really doing shit.
Yeah.
But,
I think they're going to run the ball a lot more next year, though.
Yeah, Jordan Love for sure. Because I watched a little bit of the highlights from the game he played against KC. A lot of dinking and dunking. So I think there's going to be a lot of stuff built around that run scheme.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a good situation to be in regardless. And having 2 good running backs like that is I don't want to see having 2 good running backs is something that you can never really be mad at. Just like having 2 brand new cars is not something you can be mad at. But right now, if you go into Lady Jane's, you can get an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1 but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you and 1 for your wife, girlfriend, or best bud. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle, baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. So, we already talked about it today. You know, Melo retired. Today, officially retired from the NBA. And obviously, anytime you talk about Melo, you got to talk about Darko Milicic. And what's going on, what happened, how could you take him over Melo, Wade, and Bosh? What is going on there? And Ryan asked it, and I want to ask you the same thing.
It would be 1.0.
What is the biggest draft mistake in Detroit Lions history? Drafting Terry Fair, or Detroit sports history, not Detroit Lions history. But the Lions drafting Terry Fair, 1 pick ahead of Randy Moss. The Detroit Pistons drafting Darko ahead of Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Or the Detroit Lions again, drafting Eric Ebron over, Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham Jr., a couple other pretty good players. What would you say is the biggest mistake?
Based off my experience as a Detroit Lions fan, it's no disrespect to Eric Ebron. He's come out and said he'd love to redo the situation over again. He admits his mistakes in it, but
sucks he can't.
It's just that very name, Eric Ebron. I mean, that was the closest this team's ever been to something that felt real, felt genuine. I mean, you posted up a season 2014 of like the second best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3, top 5, anything for the Detroit Lions is kind of like unheard of. You know, given like their history, you have that type of season. You know, you have the Dominican Sue's situation coming up on you. And you know there's a strength of that team is your defense. Like, and old Beckham thing, I felt like we didn't need to address the wide receiver position, but like Eric Ebron though, as the alternative, for what reason? If you wanted a pass catcher, then yeah, you should have taken Odell Beckham. You know what I'm saying? Like Eric Ebron, bro, in his highlights had drops,
granite hands,
drops in his highlights, bro.
Yep.
That's the one for me. Now, obviously Randy Moss is fucking Randy Moss. And I don't even fucking know. I often forget what Terry Fair is.
He was a cornerback.
So that's probably the worst for sure.
Yeah.
But in my experience with Lions fans, like shit that I've gotten to witness and recollect, remember, it's Eric Ebron all day.
Yeah. For me, it's Darko. Like it's
Go ahead.
You look at, you had the number 2 pick in one of the most bountiful drafts in NBA history. 4 out of the top 5 players in that draft are first ballot Hall of Famers. If you drafted Carmelo Anthony, you win 2 chips at the very least. Lindsey Hunter has been on record saying that if they drafted Carmelo Anthony, they would have beat the Spurs. If they drafted Carmelo Anthony, they still would have got that first championship. And then you have a franchise player to start. Even if you don't take my bias for Melo aside and him wanting to play, my favorite player wanting to play for my favorite team, if you drafted Dwayne Wade, you would have had the 3rd best shooting guard in the history of the NBA on your franchise. You would have had a guy to take the reins for your franchise for the next 15 years. If you draft Chris Bosh, it's still a Hall of Famer. Chris Bosh is not a top 50 NBA player of all time, but he is a Hall of Fame talent, and you drafted a guy that is best known for being an MMA fighter in Serbia over these 3 guys. That is blasphemous to me. These are 3 guys that would have set your franchise up for sustained success for the next 10 years, all of whom would have made sure you were delivered another championship on top of the one you got, while still drafting the biggest bust in professional sports history. Maybe Anthony Bennett might hold that crown, but the biggest bust in Detroit sports history. Mm-hmm. That's what it is for me. It's crazy. If they drafted Melo or D Wade, they would have had at the very, very least 2 championships.
You see what? Actually, tell me who I am right now. That's just business, Spencer. My man Joe D's goated on the sticks. They knew they were selling the team in 6 years. No, I'm just following the rule. Always defending Joe D. Awful pick.
Historically awful.
But they still won a championship. And that's why I'm pointing to the Eric Ebron. That's why I pointed to Terry Fair. Like, Aaron Donald, generational Hall of Fame all-timer. And not that, you know, D-Wade is. And I'll stop the conversation there.
He's the 3rd best shooting guard in the history of the NBA.
D-Wade is. Your boy Melo, maybe, you know, whatever. He'll be Hall of Fame for his guilt trip.
Top 10 scorer in the history of the NBA.
Shit's nice. Shit's cute. Real cute. But Aaron Donald and fucking Randy Moss as your alternatives, like...
generational guys.
Yeah. And again, you still got the championship out of the Darko situation. Like, yeah, it sucked. You still won a championship. As much as...
You know what's better than 1?
Spinny, can I tell you something? You can't guarantee the 2 with Melo.
Nice.
I know you love him.
I mean, if Lindsey Hunter says it, I'm going to believe Lindsey Hunter over you.
That's fine. But Melo's career. We have Melo's career over.
And we have Darko's career.
That's fine. Melo's for night and day. A better player than Darko for sure. But I can't guarantee you that the Pistons team's operating the same with a Melo. Or I call him Melo second time today.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking old guy.
Yeah,
you want them Pokemon cards, huh? Carmelo, I can't guarantee this Pistons team operates the same with Carmelo. We can't. I don't care. I don't care how good he is. We know how these, like, the guys that love to shoot all the fucking time. Like, we see all the time. They don't. Damian Lillard, one of my favorite fucking players all the time. That thing ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Granted, Carmelo fucking 6'7" at this different scenario there,
6'10".
but like, yeah, I can't. I just can't guarantee.
And the going to work Pistons, like,
who knows if they make the trade for Rasheed at that point too? Like, there's just so many other factors that may not have fallen in line had you drafted Melo. Obviously, still would have been a pretty damn good fucking team.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but
I'm just saying, if Lindsey Hunter says it and he played for the team, I'm gonna lean that way.
That's fair. Cop out, whatever.
Is it a cop out, or is it listening to a guy that won the championship?
Cop out.
The reason why it's Darko is because of not the championships. It's because of Ebron. As bad as that was the 12th pick in the draft. This is the 2nd pick, and like Spencer said, 4 of the top 5 first ballot Hall of Famers, no question. Like, you not only missed, but you missed terribly, and you missed at a very high level at the 2nd pick. What was the first one you mentioned? Because I don't know that.
Terry Fair.
That's how bad of a fucking pick it is.
Getting taken one pick before Randy Moss.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, what pick? Do you recall?
Like 20. They picked him at 20, and Randy Moss got taken.
Eric Ebron, top 10 pick too, if I'm not mistaken. Was he like 8 overall?
Oh, 8. I thought he was 12 for some reason.
Yeah, Hawkinson was top 10 too.
Was 8.
Hawkinson was 8. I look up Eric
Ebron was 13, I think.
But that's why to me the Pistons one is because of the stakes of where you were in the draft. Like, once you get, we've said this all NFL draft season. We were talking about how after the first 12, 14, sometimes more or less in a draft class, it's a crapshoot. And at the top 2 though, you're supposed to be 100% determined. You're supposed to be if not a super duper star, a franchise corner piece to say the least. So that's why, because the stakes were higher at 2 than they were at 10 or 20. Not saying that the players that they passed on weren't amazing, but it's just the stakes of it is why the Pistons won is the worst for me.
But when you ultimately got a championship out of it, I can't really confirm.
Yeah, but
those
we're looking at just the draft bust. We're not looking at whether they got a championship. That doesn't really factor in the conversation, because
it kind of does.
I mean, it definitely helps it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying when we're just arguing the logistics of a draft bust, we're not focusing on whether that team won a championship or not. We're focusing on that player that was selected at that position versus the players that were selected after him. And that's why I would go with Darko, because 2 is a lot more of a valuable pick than say a 12 or 20th or whatever the other ones were.
That does not look like the type of person I expected to stand up out of that Lambo. I'm not lying.
I didn't see you stood up out of the Lambo, but no, to me,
Pistons
still got a championship out of it. You can't guarantee any of those other picks are giving you the same results. It's the Lions situation. I don't care to the performance. Sure, the term bust, if you want to go by that, the definition of the word, I'll give you those guys. But to what it means to the franchise type situation, they still won a championship. The Lions literally was a franchise moment there in that draft class. Bro, you wanted a pass catcher, you could have grabbed Odell Beckham, who was night and day, even as a prospect, a better pass catcher. You wanted a tight end specifically. And tight end, not even for the reasons okay, he could block for me a little bit here. No, that wasn't a strong suit of him. You drafted him to be a fucking pass catcher.
To be the finishing piece is what they said, yeah.
Then draft fucking Odell Beckham Jr. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then the other situation too with Aaron Donald, granted, a couple teams have passed on him. And same thing with OBJ, I guess, to a certain extent. But,
yeah.
I don't know, man. You still got the championship out of the Pistons situation. I don't know. You trade for Sheed out of the 2. So, I'm going with the other ones that don't have rings. And Terry Fair, by the way, come on. Who the fuck?
Yeah.
Who the fuck? What is that guy doing nowadays?
I'm going to look up his career stats. But, JB, what's your
He's
take
probably
on this
working for Mark selling insurance. Jesus.
I got to go with Darko. Just because, no disrespect to Randy Moss, OBJ, AD, and all those guys that came out of that draft class, but just think about it. We all wouldn't be sitting here talking about these guys and how great a career they have had so far if they were to get picked by Detroit. So it's kind of it's perfectly placed for them to go other places than to be here as a Detroit Lion. I think the biggest draft bust is Darko. Having Carmelo here, 2 championships right there, and then an endless of possibilities after that. You wouldn't have seen him bounce around from team to team, get down on himself, become a role bench player. He could have still been in the starting lineup. Who knows with another team if he could have stuck with the Pistons and if they could have drafted him. So I gotta go with Carmelo.
If you take Carmelo, there's no Sheet.
I'm taking that for sure.
I'm not. You've heard KG say it. One of the toughest guys power forwards ever played against was Sheet.
Yeah.
Sheet also stretched the floor for you too. Not that Melo wouldn't, but Melo's also not as much of a 4 as Sheet actually would. He convert to that true 4 for you as well. I can't
Tracy
guarantee.
McGrady said Melo was the hardest guy to guard that he ever played against.
For sure, guarding. But I'm talking
over
about
Bron, Kevin Durant, or
Kobe.
Over Bron, Kobe, and.
Is he giving the same efforts on defense? They're different human beings. I can't guarantee 1 championship, let alone 2 championships with Carmelo Anthony. I can't guarantee you that Aaron Donald, is going to be a fucking savage on the defensive line.
I was going to say, but you can guarantee that Aaron Donald wins a championship for the Lions?
Not a championship, but I guarantee he's a fucking savage. And I guarantee Odell Beckham's a damn good wide receiver.
I can guarantee you Carmelo's a top 10 scorer in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, for sure. I can't guarantee you a ring.
But so that's your argument for Melo, is that you can't guarantee another ring?
No, my argument against him, I can't guarantee a ring, and they got a ring.
So why aren't you holding that against the other players?
What do you mean?
If your argument is they already won a ring.
Aaron Donald and OBJ have rings. They have rings.
Yeah, okay. So you can guarantee they'd win a ring for the Detroit Lions?
No, I'm not. Listen, the Pistons champion. This is why it's different. The Pistons won a ring.
Yeah.
Right? I can live life without Melo and still say that I have something on this ring and a couple of Eastern Conference Finals as well with it.
Yeah.
with the Lions situation, like, inherently they were going to be a better team with either of those players, OBJ or I'm sorry, I said Eric Ebron. That's why I want to say Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Like, Eric Ebron was as much as Darko was nothing. You got a ring out of it. Ebron, a little bit something, like nothing, nada. Like I give me the guys that produce for us for sure.
Darko.
Huh?
He did more than Darko, but
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But again, a ring exists with Darko. You know what I'm saying? And with Melo, I can't say the same for other situations.
I just think I know we gotta go to break, but I just think that's a different point to be made. That's a dumb point to be made when you're talking about just draft bust. Like when you're not looking at what happened to the franchise after. You're just evaluating the prospects and where they're taken.
Yeah,
you're
we're just looking at the
talent. Because otherwise everything is semantics, and who knows if Aaron Donald would have been Aaron Donald in Detroit, and he would have been Aaron Donald. You could just throw that out. But I'm saying you're doing that with Melo, so it's like don't look at the semantics of it. Just look at the prospects, where they were drafted, who was drafted after them, and then make the decision based off that. I think that's the fairest way to evaluate the draft
because it helps your argument.
conversation.
Yeah, of course, you think that way is the fairest way. But through your way, just pure bust. It's definitely Darko. But I'm giving the semantics. I'm looking at a team that won a fucking championship without Melo, and I'm cool with it. Get rid of fucking Eric Ebron. Give me Aaron Donald and OBJ all day. You can't guarantee the two. That's all I'm saying.
Talk to me about Randy.
I'll tell you about Randy. Y'all like golfing? Come golf with Darren McCarty, Jim Harbaugh, and Braylon Edwards with Randy Wise. The only way you can do it is with Randy Wise. Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Meaning multiple dates. There's more times you'll be able to golf with Braylon Edwards, Jim Harbaugh, and Darren McCarty. What a lineup that is. It's Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. As I said before, make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info soon. We'll be right back.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights Live on WoodwardSports.com. Make sure you like and share the stream. If you're listening on an audio platform, leave a 5-star review. For the man to my left, the one and only Speak Easy, we got Chris Plady in the TD booth, JB Smooth on the ones and twos. I am Spencer Raxter. We just got done talking about a little bit depressing topic with the biggest sports bust in Detroit sports history, which, we had to talk about it. Melo retired. He's known for being drafted after one of the biggest busts in the history of professional sport. But now let's get back into something, because the Lions start OTAs tomorrow. And I saw this, shout out Pride of Detroit. They put an article out about this, and it was something that caught my eye, because last year we had a lot to talk about what's this team going to look like, who's going to play where, what are you looking at. And this year we've got some also similar, I don't want to say problems, but similar situations about different groupings and who's going to start, who's going to play where. But I want to know, Eazy, with OTAs around the corner, what position grouping battle are you the most excited for? Are you looking out for the most? What position group of players who are trying to win that job, trying to win that spot, are you looking out for most this year in OTAs?
Cornerbacks. I really curious to see how that whole situation goes down between who's going to be playing outside and playing inside, because when they signed Cam Sutton, and you watch the tape of Cam Sutton, he's playing that nickel role that you signed CJGJ to play. So I'm really looking forward to see, I guess, how he is executing that role as a full-time outside cornerback. And you have that battle with the man who's been disrespected a lot by even our network included. Jerry Jacobs is a good football player.
Yes, he is.
Jerry Jacobs,
Seatbelt gang,
went from undrafted to starting on this team for a reason, because he could ball. The defense improved upon Jerry Jacobs' arrival last year.
Yeah.
Jerry Jacobs is good. You don't have a move like that or a nickname like that unless you're putting in work. We've gone over that theory tons of times. Jerry Jacobs can ball. So as much as Mosley's put in the work on a better known defense with better pieces around him, I think that's going to be a big battle to see who comes out on top. Now, granted, Mosley's coming off that ACL injury, but for me, it's the cornerback room. I want to see how that whole situation is going to shape out, because you got Brian Branch there too. I want to see where he's competing to play too. ERC article come out about him is I'm willing to play anywhere. You know? Because that's the quickest way I'm going to get on the field. That's including linebacker, outside corner, or whatever, you know? How about you?
That's for sure a good one. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, that cornerback 2 spot is going to be under a lot of battle. But for me, it's running backs, because you look at, obviously we have the 2 set. You've got David Montgomery, you got Jahmyr Gibbs. Those 2 are making. But that RB3 spot, when you look at a guy like Craig Reynolds, who didn't play last year because of injury, but we've seen what he can do when he's given his time. We've seen what he can do when he's given carries in this offense, and that's looked pretty good. Look competent as a running back. Look like a guy who can go out there and he can do something for you. And then they drafted, or they didn't even draft, they gave $100,000 guaranteed to Muhammad Ibrahim out of Minnesota, a guy that a lot of people like, a guy that people thought should have been drafted. If it wasn't for an injury, probably would have been drafted. And people, Broder has said that he looks pretty good. He looks like the man. He's doing a lot of stuff out there, making a lot of moves. I just think that running back, that RB3 spot, is going to be up for grabs. Whoever really shows out, whoever provides that dog, whoever goes out there and really leaves a lasting impression on the coaches could be available for that spot. And with how we know this team likes to run the ball and how, I don't want to say fragile running backs are in the NFL, but a running back more than likely is going to miss a game or two in any given season. So that can be an important spot for this team. That can be an important spot for a guy to go out there and make some plays. We remember Justin Jackson last year. People thought, nothing about him. He's a journeyman. He did good things filling in for Eckler. But when he got on this team, obviously with Swift being made of glass and paper mache, he got a lot of opportunity to go out there and prove himself, and he did. He showed that he can still get it done. He showed he's a competent runner in the NFL. So I think that RB3 spot is going to be up for a lot of contention and should be something to look out for, especially with how this team wants to run the ball next season.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's David Montgomery as your true blue running back in the back there. And then either way, it's a stable. That's how the running back position works in the NFL these days. Regardless, you also got the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs can play outside, play a little bit of slot for you, receiving the ball a lot more. I mean, that's one of the attributes in him as a draft prospect. When people are upselling the draft pick after we were kind of originally down on it, is the versatility in that one. The running back situation, I think, is divvied up regardless either way. For me, it's those cornerbacks all day. I mean, outside of that, I probably...
What about wide receiver? That's going to be... There's a
wide
lot
receiver,
of guys...
With the JMO stuff, that's kind of set too, though,
But a lot of guys fighting for that spot. You got a 6-week trial
spot,
period.
Maybe, but like the final spot, like how many times that final receiver actually seeing the field too,
I mean, Antoine Green, you think he's going to have a good, a good season for the Lions, or he's going to be impact? He was on your top 5. He was on all of our top 5 most impactful rookies. You look at him. You look at Tom Kennedy. I don't even know who else would be up there after that. That other receiver they got, the white dude out of Oregon. I can't remember his name. There's going to be battle for that spot
mixed,
as well.
By the way, all right.
Yeah.
One of my people be. No, I mean, listen. But what the names you're saying again, those are like the.
What about that line? What about that second linebacker spot?
That's where I was gonna get to.
You got to think Jack Campbell is gonna start. Jack Campbell is gonna be your Mike. He's gonna be the guy in the middle. But where does that other spot go? Obviously, we saw what Malcolm Rodriguez can do, which has fantastic, one of the best I don't know about 6th-round rookies, but I got to say one of the best 6th-round rookie seasons in a long time in the NFL. 100-tackle guy, went out there, made plays. Sure. And then you got Anzalone, who you just re-upped to a deal. Who is going to be that guy opposite Jack Campbell?
No, that's where I was going to go, away from the receivers and into the linebacking room, because if Jack Campbell starts for this defense, it's more than likely, in my opinion, in the role of Alex Anzalone. I mean, that's the quarterback of your defense. That's the guy's, reading and reacting to everything. And at 6'5", the guy has a little bit more. I assume a little bit more. And a first-round pick, has a little bit more vision than Alex Anzalone. And then I don't want to discount Malcolm's year at all. Like, I know a lot of people. I know Joey 2 times at one point in the chat was like, "You already know Malcolm's the odd man out." No, I'm not subscribing to that at all.
Me either.
I think with the way this defense is built, is that Malcolm had a very specific role. That was fucking kind of like the read and attack situation. What he did, like a fucking heat-seeking missile.
Yeah.
And he was good at it.
He was
like
very
you said,
good at it.
Like, not even just for like a rookie, like just generally just kind of just good at fucking being out there, reading the run plays, and the athleticism of Malcolm Rodriguez. Now, I don't know if you or JB may want to try to pull up his RAS numbers and go against Jack Campbell's, but I feel like, respectively, Malcolm probably a little bit more agile on the field in those situations. Like, I feel like Malcolm has a role on this defense, not just a starting linebacker, but a role on this defense for like what he's asked to do. And I don't know that Alex Anzalone or Jack Campbell are fulfilling that exact role to that.
So Malcolm scored elite in every category except for height and weight and broad jump. Broad jump, he was good. Height and weight, poor. Every other one, elite.
Set an all-time record on the bench press. Obviously, you got, what do you run on the 40?
4.52.
Okay, so him and Jack Campbell, same 40 time.
Yeah.
Cone drills. If I'm not mistaken, Jack Campbell
Three cone was 7.02.
Okay, I had to look up Jack Campbell's cone because he had a nice one.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's on the defensive side of the ball, because that's not that you didn't bring in shiny pieces on the offensive side of the ball, but you replaced them. You know what I'm saying? DJ Chark gone, replacement Marvin Jones. Fucking Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift gone, replaced David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Battling for actual spots, that linebacker room is secondary.
Yeah.
We gonna see.
We don't see, but we know that defense is gonna have some changes in there. And if you want to make sure your defense is locked down and you don't need to change anything about it, all you got to do is hit up Guardian Alarm, because Guardian offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and no Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800. That's 1-800 right now, and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
So here's Sam Flannel earlier when someone was disrespecting Anthony Davis in his eyes. Our guy, Jeff Iafrate, got that picture, and that is beautiful work right there.
Murderous.
Beautiful work right there. Also, Chris, can you throw up my tweet from earlier?
Oh, yeah.
I was getting a lot of love for this tweet, and I thought it was pretty good. I want you to see it. I want you to see it. Says Janelle Monáe says, I'm much happier when my titties are out. And I said, she's just like me for real. So, I mean, I'm happier when her titties are out, and I'm happier when my titties are out. So it works.
She got her titties are A1.
A1 works both ways.
A1
But I see some people in the chat talking about Monty Williams and the coaching search for the Detroit Pistons, because Woj made this tweet about the Pistons or the Bucks coaching search and what's going on there. He said, ESPN sources, the Bucks are narrowing group. Ooh, you gotta spell or grammar check this. The Bucks are narrowing group of top candidates in franchise's head coaching search. Nick Nurse, Golden State assistant Kenny Atchison, and Toronto assistant Adrian Griffin. These coaches will be part of final conversations with the Milwaukee leadership this week. 2 names not in that are Charles Lee and Monty Williams. So this made me think I thought the Bucks were going to nail down Monty Williams and make sure that he was their head coach next season. So I was like, all right, maybe, the Pistons go after Monty Williams. Maybe they can grab him there. With their guards, with what he's known to do to help guards, that would be something great. But then James Edwards put out a tweet and kind of shot that down. James Edwards III says, Lee, Ollie, and Collins are still candidates. There are meetings this week. I wouldn't be surprised if Bud and Monty take a year off. There are your updates.
There was a poll earlier about your boy being always right. Not playing. But last week I said...
What were you right about?
Yeah.
I said these guys are still very much candidates when we were going over the Tom Gore situation where they're like dismissed. And I was like, I don't know.
It wasn't dismissed. It was just that he didn't approve of them.
Yeah, the verbiage of the source, it says, like, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, like, more that source's opinion than what was actually going on. And, like, that's why I was kind of like, well, I still think it's a possibility that one of these 3 guys get hired. And we're still in that situation. Now, the part that bums me out is the Monty situation.
Yeah.
I was getting sold on Monty pretty easily.
Monty is, if he's going to take a year off for his family, you go offer him a deal to where he can't do that.
Offer him a deal.
He can't refuse. Yeah, you got the perfect voice for it now, dude.
Offer him a deal. I can't do his accent. Do the accent real quick.
Huh?
Do the accent.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah, but how's he say? Like, I make an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
I make an offer you can't refuse.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you do with Monty
I feel more
Williams.
like Action Bronson with that.
You put some money on the table. You put something in front of him to where he can't go and say, I'm taking a year off.
His children.
Yeah, you make sure you send Ben Wallace to his house. He's like,
hey, yo, Monty.
You got some beautiful children here, Monty. Hate to see anything
He's palming
happen
him
to
like
him.
fucking basketball. Yo, Monty, you got some beautiful kids. Be sure nice in Detroit.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. You gotta make Monty Williams choke on an offer. Pause.
Yo, that's
Chris,
that's wild.
How do you feel about
That's
it?
wild. Don't toss it to me after that one. Let's toss it to JB. No, I'm good with I'm good with Monty taking a year off. I really like that. I'm just surprised that Monty's passing up. It seems like on Milwaukee. I mean, if you're a coach, like, why wouldn't you want to jump to a team with one of the greatest, if not the greatest player in the NBA? On top of the fact that you also this is a team you lost to in the finals. Like, this team can get there. So I'm shocked that Monty would pass up on this Milwaukee job. I think any coach would die to have an opening like Milwaukee.
Pop retires after next year. Monty steps in.
Aaron S says,
Wembanyama.
"Ooh, fuck."
That's not.
Aaron S says hiring Kevin Ali is like getting the 5th pick in the draft. How are your feelings about Kevin Ali?
I feel the same. Yeah. That is the least.
It's like going home with the second ugliest girl at the club.
Yeah,
because like the ugliest girl, it's at least a funny story. Like, yeah, you see what I bring up. But the second ugliest girl, it's like you tried.
Yeah, you tried,
and you still got.
Yeah.
Oof.
Tabitha sound like a freaky ass name.
Ain't no way Tabitha's pretty. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry to all the Tabithas out there, but just I'm not believing. I'm not buying it.
I'll be doing extensive search on that one, Chris, tonight on our PH.
Oh, I'm sure there's some bad Tabithas out there.
There's definitely some bad Tabithas.
Well, that doesn't count. That's not their real names.
Well, we're just going off based off the term bust. If we're saying here, I mean, Tabitha with a nice bust on her is gonna win.
Well, yeah. Love Tabitha with a nice bust, just like Janelle Monáe. She's got a nice bust. But that'll do it for us today. We appreciate you all tapping in to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. Again, make sure you like and share the stream. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma. For the man to my left.
Wait. Before it's too late.
What?
Can you play the Brittany Griner thing?
What Brittany Griner?
Oh, my God, yeah.
I didn't see this.
Yeah. You could have took the words out of here, but it's all right.
What is this?
It was great, but, like, honestly, come on, LA. Like, we didn't sell out the arena for BG, like, I expected more, you know, to be honest, right? Like, it was great, it was loud, but how was it not a sellout?
Come on now.
Stop it.
Come on now. How wasn't it a sellout? How many sellouts you gonna see? Come on.
Does she not
You
know?
got the Lakers in the conference finals. That's what you want. Come on.
You have 2 conference finals going on in the NBA and NHL. Are you serious?
Ain't nobody going to a fucking Sparks game. All right, we appreciate you all tapping in. Make sure you like and share the stream.
How was it a sellout?
Wasn't it a sellout? You really got ass. Can you dunk that bitch? Can she even dunk that bitch anymore? But for the man to my left, the one and only Speak Easy. I know Pretty Grind ain't doing no window. For the man on the ones and twos,
Free
JB,
BG.
the man in the TD booth, Chris Platty. I am Spencer Raxter.
I didn't know she's coming back to basketball.
We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and do you really know why you didn't sell out that WNBA game? Really? Peace.
Lower the rims.